In one American city, the median home costs 12.5 times the median income. These are the most overpriced housing markets in the country. The average American home now costs 5 times the average American income. But in 10 cities, that ratio is so extreme, it would take you over a decade of your total earnings just to equal the price of a median home. No food, no taxes, nothing else. According to Harvard, home prices have surged 60% since 2019. Wages? Only 29%. And in these 10 markets, the gap between what people earn and what homes cost has reached levels never seen before in recorded history. These are the 10 most overpriced housing markets in America. Number 10. Denver, Colorado. The mile-high city has a mile-high price problem. The median home here costs around $570,000, while the median household pulls in roughly $92,000. That's a price-to-income ratio of 6.2x. For context, a healthy ratio is 3.0. Denver is more than double that. During the pandemic, remote workers flooded in from the coasts, driving double-digit appreciation year after year. But now the music has stopped. Growth has slowed to barely 1%. And here's the number that tells the real story. 42% of all Denver listings currently have price cuts. That's nearly half of all sellers admitting their asking price was too high. The income increase needed to comfortably afford a Denver home has jumped 84% since the pandemic. Wages haven't come close. Number 9. Austin, Texas. Austin is the cautionary tale of pandemic real estate hype. In May 2022, the median home hit $550,000. Since then, prices have crashed 18 to 20%. And here's what makes Austin's story so compelling. Even after that massive correction, the data says it's still overpriced. The current price-to-income ratio sits at 4.14x, which sounds moderate compared to what's coming on this list. But Austin's 25-year historical average is only 3.85. So even after losing a fifth of its value, it hasn't returned to its own normal. The price-to-rent ratio tells the same story. At 16.2 versus a historical average of 13.5, the math still favors renting. Your total monthly housing payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, would consume nearly 38% of the median household income. Austin had the third worst home value decline in all of 2025. The correction isn't over. Number 8. Salt Lake City, Utah. Here's a market that flies under the radar while quietly becoming one of the most unaffordable in the country. The median home in Salt Lake City costs $610,000, and prices are still climbing, up 15% year over year as of January 2026. Meanwhile, the median household income is around $92,000. That gives you a price-to-income ratio of 6.6x. But the real shock is the historical premium. According to analysts, current prices sit 47% above Salt Lake City's own long-term pricing trends. To afford the median mortgage here, you'd need a household income of $140,000. The actual median is $48,000 short of that. Utah is now the third least affordable state in the entire nation, behind only California and Hawaii. And only 1 in 10 homes listed in the Boise-Salt Lake corridor is affordable to a family earning $100,000 a year. Number 7. Boise, Idaho. Boise is what happens when a sleepy, affordable city becomes a pandemic boomtown overnight. In 2021, home values in Ada County shot up 41% in a single year. Californians and Pacific Northwest transplants flooded in, bidding up everything in sight. The median home now costs around $480,000, and the median household income is only $80,000. That's a price-to-income ratio of 6.0x in a city that was historically around 3.5. According to Moody's analytics, homes in Canyon County are overvalued by 35.6% and Ada County by 27.6%. Now here's the kicker. Growth has collapsed from 41% to just 0.4%. The speculation engine has stalled, but prices haven't adjusted. Even households earning $100,000 can only afford 17% of homes listed statewide. Idaho's rent is projected to surge another 20%, squeezing both buyers and renters at the same time. Number 6. Seattle, Washington. Seattle proves that even a city full of high earners can be wildly overpriced. Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing, some of the biggest employers in the world call this metro home. The median household income is about $115,000. That's nearly 50% above the national average. And yet, the median home costs between $793,000 and $898,000. That pushes the price-to-income ratio to 7.4x, roughly double what it was in 1990. In 2024, Seattle homebuyers spent 54% of their earnings on housing costs. To keep your housing payment below the 30% affordability threshold, you need to earn at least $126,000 a year, more than the actual median income. Home prices here are up 24% over the past 5 years, even as the city experiences domestic outmigration. Analysts call it an affordability ceiling, where even tech-level wages can't keep up with price growth. Number 5. Miami, Florida. A major Swiss bank just ranked Miami as the #1 housing bubble risk in the entire world. Not in America, in the world. The UBS Global Real Estate Bubble Index gave Miami a risk score of 1.79, well above the 1.5 threshold for bubble territory. Home prices here have surged 70% since 2019. The median home costs around $520,000, but the median household income is only $76,000. That's a price-to-income ratio of 8.5x. Now here's what makes Miami especially dangerous. The sticker price doesn't tell the full story. Homeowners insurance premiums have jumped 60% since 2019, adding $3,000 to $5,000 a year in carrying costs that most buyers don't account for. There are nearly 52,000 active listings flooding the market, the most oversupplied market in Florida. And over the past 15 years, Miami posted the strongest inflation-adjusted housing appreciation of any city globally studied by UBS. That's an incredible run, but the data now says the music is about to stop. Number 4. Honolulu, Hawaii. The median single-family home on Oahu costs $1.16 million. The median family income is $120,000. Do the math. That's a price-to-income ratio of 9.0x. But here's the stat that really puts it into perspective. Mortgage payments in Honolulu consume 73% of the median family income. That's not a typo. Nearly 3/4 of a family's entire income goes just to the mortgage. The affordability standard is 30%. Honolulu is nearly 2.5 times that. Hawaii now has the highest state-level price-to-income ratio in America at 8.8x. To comfortably afford a single-family home here, you need a household income north of $300,000. But the median family earns less than half of that. And because Hawaii is an island chain, construction materials have to be shipped in, land is scarce, and there's a permanent supply constraint that keeps prices elevated no matter what the economy does. Paradise has a price, and for most people, that price is unreachable. Number 3. San Francisco, California. San Francisco was once the most aspirational housing market in America. The median home in the city costs roughly $1.6 million. Across the broader Bay Area, that drops to about $1.25 million. In San Mateo County, the median is $2.2 million. The median household income is around $130,000, which is high by any standard. But it gives you a price-to-income ratio of 10.1x. The price-to-rent ratio is approximately 36, which means it makes dramatically more financial sense to rent than to buy. Typical homebuyers here spend up to 78% of their income on housing costs. That's not sustainable by any definition, and the market is starting to acknowledge it. Prices have fallen 2.4% year over year. Remote work has reduced the pressure to live here for tech jobs. California's rising taxes, surging insurance premiums, and persistent outmigration are eroding demand. San Francisco has shifted from leading the boom to leading the correction. Number 2. San Jose, California. Silicon Valley's housing market defies rational explanation. The median single-family home costs between $1.3 and $1.45 million. A condo, supposedly the affordable option, runs $1.1 million. The median household income is $135,000, which is nearly twice the national average. And it's still hopelessly insufficient. The price-to-income ratio lands between 10.5 and 11x. But it's the price-to-rent ratio that truly exposes how irrational this market is. At 37.6 to 45, San Jose has the highest price-to-rent ratio of any major metro in America. The math overwhelmingly says rent, don't buy. Here's the number that stops people in their tracks. To afford the median single-family home in San Jose, you'd need to earn $432,000 a year. That's $208 per hour. Even after prices dropped 10.7% year over year, the market remains stratospherically above what incomes can support. Number 1. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles has the highest price-to-income ratio of any major metro in America, and it's not even close. The median home in LA County costs between $790,000 and $820,000. The median household income is approximately $67,000. That gives you a price-to-income ratio of 12.2 to 12.5x. Let that sink in. A household earning the median income would need to spend every single dollar they earn for 12 and a half years straight. No food, no taxes, no utilities, nothing, just to equal the price of a median home. The healthy benchmark is 3x. LA is more than 4 times that. Homebuyers here spend up to 78% of their income on housing costs. Long Beach, right next door, has its own staggering ratio of 10.4x. What makes LA's situation different from San Jose or San Francisco is this. Those cities at least have extraordinarily high incomes to partially explain the high prices. LA's median income of $67,000 is actually below the national average. Yet home prices are among the highest in the country. That creates the largest affordability gap of any major U.S. metro. And the risks keep piling up. The 2025 Los Angeles wildfires exposed massive insurance vulnerabilities. Earthquake risk remains ever present. Insurance premiums have surged. And yet, home prices continue to climb, up roughly 9% year over year, as if the fundamentals don't matter. They will eventually. That's our data-driven ranking of the 10 most overpriced housing markets in America. From Denver's price cuts to LA's 12.5x ratio, these markets have one thing in common. Prices have completely disconnected from what local incomes can support. If you want more data-driven real estate analysis like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Next week, we're ranking the 10 best cities in America for rental income. See you then.